Hey guys, what's up? All right. Double Deuce back here. Today we're going to go over some cooling tips, tricks, and just some general ideas for your Toyin V8. Yeah, right. I said that, didn't I? Your water-cooled nitro engines, whether it's the NR200 or the L200, the L400, for instance. Or your Toyin V8. So, anyway, let's get to it, and I'll show you guys some quick tips and tricks on, and I put together some things that I've grabbed from other subscribers and other videos I've seen on YouTube, and I'd like to give them a little kudos for that too, because it's going to help us all. So here we go. So, today we're going to go over some cooling tips and tricks for your 4-stroke water-cooled or 2-stroke water-cooled engines, hoses and that and this and that. So to begin with, let's start off with your typical cooling system that we have all been using. Okay, this is your radiator, and a lot of us are using like an RC fuel tank as an overflow. But now the radiators in these come in different sizes. Like for instance, if you get on eBay or Amazon or Banggood, whatever you want, search PC cooling radiator or computer cooling, liquid radiator cooling. These come in all different sizes and they're really inexpensive, and you'll have them within no time. They've got a couple of different sizes. I got the small compared to the large. And then for my Aussie V8, I even got one that's bigger. Now, the problem we have is the fittings. Okay, the fittings seem to be all the same size on all of these radiators. So, a lot of us are saying, yeah, okay, I can squeeze this over this, okay, like so, but, but the fitting on my engine is really tiny. So in order for you to put a good sized piece of hose over there, it's swimming around. So here's what I do. Okay, now this is vinyl hose. Okay, it's for like your lawnmower, fuel lines, and all that stuff. This works. However, it gets really soft and expands and blows out, which I found with my NR200. So if you use like a good quality silicone hose, or go to your local automotive parts store and try to find some black vacuum hose. It has a nice thick wall to it, and it's very flexible. It comes in all different sizes. So here's the thing: you want to put a smaller piece of hose from your engine over here. You're gonna hook this on here, and you want this to go in your radiator. Okay, you're going to grab a bigger piece of hose, like this is silicone hose, and what I do is I have an assortment of brass fittings. You can see right there. I stick a piece of brass fitting in there like so. Then I slide this over top of that, and then I put a zip tie right there, so between the two hoses and where the brass fitting is, and I zip tie it real tight. That way, there's no leakage, no expand, it ain't going to blow out, and it's not going to collapse the hose. Then you take this, and you can slide it right over top of your radiator like so. Just like that. So you got your small tube with your piece of brass, or you can use brake line tubing too for automotive if you want. You get that inside it with a zip tie sealing it there, and then all you got to do is put a zip tie here. So you use 2 zip ties, done. You don't have to ever worry about it again. It ain't coming off unless you choose to take it off. So now that's, that works for all the hoses and all that stuff. And like I say, the vinyl hose, you can go to your local hardware store and buy the vinyl hose. It does work. However, it gets really soft. I've never blown one out on my L400 at all, but you can use regular fuel line, or like RC fuel line too. That's all silicone hose, and then go from there. So now let's talk about expansion tanks. All right, like I say, we've been using these fuel tanks. You can buy these at Sterling Kit. They make a smaller one now that's half the size, you know, and which is nice. Or if you want to go that one step further, do what I did. I want to thank Wally81. He's putting a L400 into an Arma Felony. So he come up with this great idea of using like motorcycle brake fluid reservoirs. Super idea, very small. They got a nice little mount on them, and you know they come in all different sizes. You can get them in big, small, square. And these unscrew on the top. They have a nice little silicone rubber seal in there. And the nice thing about these is this: it's just like on a real car. They got minimum and maximum as far as your levels go. Now, you don't have to go ballistic with these. These are super cheap. These are only like $2.50 a piece, $2.50 USD. And like with me, see, I got to buy like a bunch of them because I'll use them. And they come in like, I got 2 of the off clear white ones, and then I thought I got some tinted ones would be really cool too. However, you don't need your expansion tank because this is an expansion tank. So you can run your tubing, okay, and normally what you'd want to do is on the bottom of the radiator, you're going to want this to come into your inlet and keep your radiator level with your engine block as it comes into your water pump, okay? And then you're going to have the top come out, all right? And it's going to go into the top. So if you got a good sized radiator you're running with this, you're going to have this one go into your in feed, and you're going to have the top come back out to this. Now you're going to say, how do I fill this thing? You know? Well, what I do, okay, I'll take this. You can either bring this in here with a fitting, okay, top, side, whatever, or you can just leave this alone and put a T fitting in your top tube, okay? And just so this is higher than your radiator, or within the height of the tube, you can fill it from here. And as it runs, it's going to come out of there into here, and you know, back into there if you have a tube on it. If you don't have the tube on it, it's going to pressurize inside here, and it's going to keep a closed circuit. Just do not open this when it's running because you'll get burned. But I like these because you can mount them anywhere, and they have a nice little bracket on the side. And like I say, they look just like a small little fluid reservoir, okay, except they are for your brake fluid reservoir on your motorcycles, which I thought was a crafty idea. Now, back to this. Move these out of the way. Now, you're going to want a fan. Okay, so now the L400 has a fan on it. The L200 has a fan on it from the Toy and Engines. However, the new NR200 does not have fan blades, okay? And one tip for that, leave them plastic. Do not make them out of metal, because I made the fan blades out of aluminum, and what happens is the vibration through the motor breaks them off, and you'll take your eye out. Believe me, I got whacked with that one there when I was running it. But so if you don't want to use a fan, you can buy your computer fans, okay? When you search PC cooling for your radiators, there's a million of these fans come up. They show you all the sizes, thicknesses, and everything else. So you can mount it on there like so, and have your fan, and then you wire it in. Now most of these come with a plug-in. All right, this one here I had wired in separately on another project. Now, what Iron D4N come up with in his video, and I'll put a link in the description, was this. Okay, this is a very simple setup. Okay, you can set your fan, okay, and you haven't even looked at this thing yet. You got to restart to reset it. So say you wanted your fan to come on at, I think he set his at 125 degrees. You set it down here, and this shows you your temperature from your temperature probe right here. Now all you got to do is take a small servo, in your servo kits they give you that little bag of like the mounting kits with the little rubber escutcheons there. So if you say you took this, all right, and you wanted your probe to be in here, you could just drill a small hole. You could put one of those rubber fittings in there, and you could slide this right in there. As long as this is in the liquid at all times, it's going to read. So on the other video there, he set his at 125. He started his NR200 up, and he was monitoring the temperature, and it kept climbing. And when it had 125 degrees on the back here, you wire your fan in here, because they got positive, negative, and then you can set up for 1 or 2 fans. So basically when it comes on, okay, when it hits 125, it comes on and it energizes your fan, and then when the temperature comes back down, it shuts it off, which saves you a lot of battery. And being you're adding some other things here, you can eliminate an extra 7.4 volt battery or 11.1 volt battery to run the fan only, because these fans do draw some juice. This way here, it kicks on and off. You can trade this weight for the battery that you're removing and run a smaller battery, and which works very well. So hopefully some of these tricks will help you guys out when you're piecing together your stuff, because I hate to waste a good fuel tank to make a reservoir out of it, but these bigger engines take more fuel, so these smaller tanks don't really mean much. But I still mess with my old 2-strokes, my smaller ones, and I like to keep the fuel tanks around. But and if you don't have the room for this big looky thing here, or even something half that size, use your motorcycle brake fluid reservoir. You can mount it anywhere on your truck, car, boat, plane, whatever you want to do, and then just have that in, and eliminates a lot of this stuff too. And it cleans up your plumbing where it looks very nice and neat. And like this here, you can mount, they give you plenty of cable. There must be probably 3 feet of cable here. You can put this anywhere on your rig, and let's say mount that in there, run your 12 volts to it, and your fan out of it, and 4-stroke engines. This is the dawning age of these 4-stroke engines. Now, being that we are so early into this, this is just basically been in the last few years, these engines have hit the market and they've gone ballistic. And when people say that nitro is dead and brushless power is coming in, well, yeah, I beg to differ on that. I think nitro is going to be here to stay, for the simple fact it gives you a lot more realism. Now they got water-cooled units. They got PC radiators. Like I say, the ideas are endless. So with this new dawning age, we're in the very early stages of this. So we kind of got to make our own setups. So all it takes is to sit down and get on the computer one night and come up with a couple of ideas and just search it. Some may work, some may not, but the whole idea is, being that this is so fresh and new, I think it's got a huge future with RC. And with all the electronic gadgets coming out, they actually make these smaller now too. These here I bought were the bigger ones, because I bought 4 of them. And I just wanted to try it out, you know what I mean? But like I say, we come up with the idea of the smaller reservoirs now instead of this, and your radiator sizes, you have your choice. Your fans are custom made to fit all these radiators. You can buy electric fans for all these radiators. And like I say, your local parts store with your hoses, or hardware store, or whatever you want to do. Hobby store for your silicone hoses. I usually buy the silicone fuel line by the roll, because not only do I use it for fuel line, but I use it for my cooling line too. So the nice thing is you're going to use a lot less of this stuff, and with the electric fan, it's going to neaten up your plumbing for your hoses and all that. So like I said, so any questions, comments out there, hit me up. I know everybody's looking at that. If you check out my toy and V8 video, you'll through my other videos there, just you'll see what's going on with that. And like I say, you guys have a good one. Like, share, subscribe if you want. Hit that notification bell, and check out the other videos. I put down a link for the other subscribers and YouTubers that actually made their own stuff. So, all right, guys, have a good one. Adios.